Are we moving? Are we moving? Looks like we're going. I don't know if you guys can hear the music. I'm trying to have it nice and low. There we go. I'm going to spend some time doing some invites. Happy Monday. It's been such a while since we've been together, guys. All right, let's see here. I'm going to take a few minutes and do invites, give people time to get into the room. I'm a little discombobulated here because it's been such a while since we've been together, right? All right, my internet is not being super cooperative, letting me invite anybody. We might have to relocate to a different room. I don't even know if we're actually live because the internet is so bad, guys. Let's see if it'll let me do this. Are you ready to turn back? Alright, let me do that, but it doesn't let me invite friends. It's not opening that screen. You must navigate. Let's hurry, cause the hour is late. You're told us not to wait. Closing all the gates. Choice to see your fate. Cause these are the end times, baby. It's not a matter of when or maybe. Yeah, I promised you a war. And y'all said that you'd be tortured. My hated of you. Alright, guys, I don't know what the cuss is going on here. I wonder if this is gonna I don't know, guys. Doesn't seem, it's saying I don't have any friends. Facebook ain't gotta be hurting my feelings this early in the morning talking about I don't got no friends. When I hit the like invite friends thing, it says no options to show. Yeah, how about it, Facebook? Who you telling? All right. All right, enough of that, Let's clear it. Well. Okay, so Facebook is apparently dick-a-mecking me, as my grandson would say many moons ago when he was little and funny. Why you dick-a-mecking me? Does anybody remember when my grandson used to talk like that? I mean, you know, for those of you that knew him and know him. Why you dick-a-mecking me? Facebook is definitely dick-a-mecking me because it is not letting me invite friends. It won't even, it's telling me I don't have any friends. Boy, oh boy. What's up, guys? Did you enjoy your break from my shenanigans and from our lovely class? If you just bear with me, because of course I'm a little bit quirky this morning. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the Holy Magillah so that we can get into the book of Noah, right? But it's being weird. Everything's being weird. Now, I'll tell you, I am downstairs. Pardon me. Downstairs has the worst internet. This house has the worst internet, like, ever. Even the phones are weird. Like, we can't even call each other from inside the house here. Like, if I'm upstairs and I want to call Muffin on the phone and she's downstairs, the call won't go through. She won't get the call. So if you're wondering if I've been dissing you, if you've ever been trying to reach out to me and stuff and you haven't, and why she don't answer her phone, there is a very high likelihood that I didn't even know you called. Because not only will it not like let a call go through, but then it like doesn't even tell me that someone tried to call. It'd just be like, whatever. So, you know, guys, I am really trying right now to pull this off. I'm trying to get into the Holy Magillah. Once I get that, oh, I can put the phone down though, since it's not letting me do invites. That's really irritating. Okay, here we go. Maybe it's at least going to let me open up the scripture. So how have you guys been doing? It's been a full month since we've been together. Give me a break. What? Guys, I'll tell you what. I'm having a little trouble. What? Don't nobody need this? Wise, trusting him. Okay, guys. Yeah. This is just bizarre what's going on here with this laptop. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I hope that you all are blessed. By the way, I'm Jedi, EmpressJedi, the Rabble-Rouser, High Priestess of Ma'at. You have tuned into the morning session alive. This be season 6, episode 1. Yay, a new season. Yay, a new season. And we're starting off with the fuckery. Having a little trouble with the laptop here. Well, no, it's not trouble with the laptop. It's trouble with the internet. Oh, boy. Nope. It ain't gonna do it. Let's see. Why is it not gonna do it? Y'all, just kind of be like pissing me off a little bit right now. Okay, so I'm going to take a walk upstairs and get Lulu's. I hate to wake her up. She was up in the middle of the night. Sorry, guys. I thought I was all ready to go, but apparently not. Maybe I should be up here doing it anyway. Maybe I'll sit up here in the hallway and get better internet. Let's see. Let's see here, guys. Weird day back, right? All right, I think I'm gonna actually just relocate and see if I can set it up right here. Let's see. If I set this here. Okay, you guys are seeing my pajamas, but that might actually work, right? Maybe if I come down a step. Okay, this could work. We might be interrupted by some little crazy animals, but the internet's better up here. So let's see if this will let me do invites up here. Nope. But let's see if at least from up here we can get if I can pull up the Magillah here, then we'll do it here, okay? Sorry, guys, for the craziness. I mean, you know, what can I do? You know, There's always some little snafu, like the mouse not working on the computer right now. What the heck? What? Okay, now I ain't one to always want to give the enemy no big props or no bullshit, but this is some old... Okay, this laptop isn't even working. Let's try the third laptop in the house, guys. You know your mouse pad's not working?
It does that occasionally. You have to turn it off and turn it back on. Like shut it down.
Oh, shit, well, I don't have time for that. Can you find a mugula for me? While I go down and get my pen and stuff, because apparently downstairs I can't even do this. So I was trying to be downstairs to not wake you guys up, but so much for that idea. Huh? Y'all, bear with me. We're 10 minutes in and I haven't even, like, nothing useful has happened, right? Nothing useful has happened here. Just straight foolishness and fuckery with the internet. Welcome to my world. Anyway, I hope that you guys have had a wonderful month off from study. Well, no, I don't hope that. I hope that you have enjoyed the reruns and that you've continued your study during the month off. I have engaged in some study. I engaged in a little bit of study with a friend, but we almost finished and then we didn't. And then I also, that was the, what were we studying? We were studying the, oh gosh, now I don't remember what we were studying. But on my own, I've been reading the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita. For those of you that don't know, I have a super soft spot for Krishna and for Arjuna the warrior, because, you know, and all warrior caste. And so it's been delightful to touch in with the Gita. The opening scene, you know, is just it touches my heart and soul, because it's like this battle scene, you know, and Arjuna, like all the people, you know, Arjuna is fighting for righteousness, but all the people are fighting for fuckery. And so he's discouraged because all of his family and loved ones are on the side of fuckery, right? And he's like this great warrior. He knows if he goes into war mode, he's going to have to slay like his uncles and his, you know, nephews and loved ones, right? And so, bless up, Sundiata. Welcome to the room, Grand Rising. So he's like, you know, he's like, I can't do it. He's like, I can't do it. I can't fight all my loved ones. Like, you know, what good is like being a warrior if you have to kill everyone that you love and all this, right? And so he's admonished like very strongly with like this, like, first of all, shut up, you're a warrior. You go to war. You're a holy warrior. You fight for righteousness. You cannot place like how you feel about someone over what you were created to do, right? You are a warrior. If you don't do what you were created to do, what's the point in existing? But then it also gets into like, you are knowledgeable. You know that like the human body is like a shirt or pants that you put on. And so to kill your nephews and sons and uncles and beloved, you know, comrades, it's not working. Yeah, I can't, nothing's working for me either. That's why I thought I'd come up here and see if it would work. Guys, she's working to get the Magila open. I think in the future I will do all of that before we get on. But typically I do that kind of little housekeeping stuff in the first few minutes. That gives people time to get into the room, you know. But at this point, it's just kind of making it long. But either way, it's fine. You guys are used to me. Those of you that are used to me are used to me. Those of you that are not, you'll get used to me, I guess. Or you won't, and you'll go watch someone else, whatever. So dig it. So he's basically saying to him, like, it's really beautiful because it's a really touching argument, right? Because he's like, you know, I don't want to kill my loved ones. You know, what good is winning a war if everybody you love died in the war? You had to kill everybody you love. What good's winning the war? And the master's like, it don't have shit to do with whether or not you win the war. Like, you are not invested in the outcome of the war and in the spoils of the war. You are invested in fighting your best for righteousness. And that is how you win the war, by walking in your true purpose, which is to fight for righteousness. And he's like, and then in addition to that, don't adopt a childish mentality where you forget that human flesh and blood is like clothing that you put on and off. You know that you cannot possibly kill this. The Book of Noah. It's like you cannot possibly kill your loved ones. Like if you kill their bodies, their souls will hit the restart button and they'll have to start life again. And hopefully with the reminder that in this lifetime, they were slain for being unrighteous and it just caused them to restart. Like stop tripping. You know you ain't killing nobody. All you're doing is like removing the shirt. Right? The body is like a shirt to the soul. So,
Page 116.
116.
Your entry reading for the daily.
Oh, no. I have it written down. But thank you.
I don't know what page the book of
There's contents. Guys, she's got it almost working, so it looks like we will get to the Book of Noah. Wait, do we have the Book of Noah in the Lost and Rejected Scriptures?
I don't know.
Maybe I don't need all of that, guys. Maybe we've got it in a different format here. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, that happens only in the first few chapters, right, of the Gita, what I just described. No, we don't. We don't have the Book of Noah in this one. Bell and the Dragon, Sirach, Solomon, Esther, Tobit. Nope. No Book of Noah in this collection. So, oh, by the way, this is really handy. The Encyclopedia of Lost and Rejected Scriptures, as compiled by Joseph B. Lumpkin. I suggest it not because I am some linguist and know of the accuracy or the inaccuracy, I should say, either way, of the translation, but because you get 50 lost and rejected scriptures for like $60 or something, $70, something like that. So I suggest to those of you who know what we know about the Bible, which is that it is a propaganda piece, and you would like to go beyond it to get to what our people studied, lived by, taught their children before Rome got their hands on it, which would be a body of work that, you know, you could add a book every day and keep adding books, because our people were never monolith the way that people would like to present that we were.
just got to wait till it loads, but it's on page 253.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Sorry to wake you up. I tried to do this downstairs so that I wouldn't wake you up because I know you've already been disturbed, but thank you. I'm sorry. Do you want me to shut your door? Because I'm going to be here at the top of the steps.
I'm just gonna read.
Okay.
That needs a charger.
Hmm?
That needs a charger.
Oh, gosh.
There's an extension cord.
No, there's a outlet right there. I mean, I've never used that outlet. I've never hung out here like that. But we're about to see. So, you know, the scriptures. So you get that that has the Encyclopedia of Lost and Rejected Scriptures has lots of scriptures in it that if you identify as a Hebrew, very important stuff because Hebrews were, like I said, never monolith. And if you are a Bible believer at all, you know, I'm understanding that it was not like this. It was never such where there was like the official story, right? All stories, like all stories, had different versions depending on who was telling it and for what purpose, right? And so which stories your particular tribe or group held in their collection was entirely dependent upon who was in the group. You know? So that Encyclopedia of Lost and Rejected Scriptures is really cool because it offers lots of stories that the compilers of the Bible were like, man, nobody needs those. But a completely other set of scriptures along those same lines are what we are studying, the Holy Megillah, which is available at thegreatinvestigation.com. And I just keep peeking over here to see if this thing has loaded or not. It has not. It's saying I'm offline, Sephora. That's just it, not connected to the internet.
It is connected to the internet.
It says you are offline.
So it's not loading?
It's not loading. You know what we may do, guys? We may study something else. Maybe the Book of Noah isn't the direction that we're supposed to go. Maybe we are supposed to read the Gita. Do you guys want to read the Gita with me today? Before we get into all that, let's do some shout outs, okay? Let's give reverence to all of the ascended masters, male and female. First and foremost, of course, giving honor to the Holy Divine, all in all that is, ever was, ever will be, the indescribable one, right? In masculine and feminine form, Jah, and then in condensed masculine and feminine form, Jane and Jala, Jana, Jade and Jala, to Abraham and Sarah, to pardon me, brother and ancestor Enoch, to all the ancestors, all our friends, all the angels, all of the teachers and leaders who have labored in their lives to pass a legacy of love and wisdom. We give them honor, right? It is indeed Monday, which means it is Throat Chakra Day. Got my little blue necklace on to remind me. I speak. Remind yourself that you speak. Work on that throat chakra. You may be a person who, like me, needed to balance your throat chakra because it's not always all about opening and expanding and all of that. The chakras, they can be out of balance, which means You may have one overactive chakra, like that's just like you stay in that chakra. You don't know how to move out of that chakra or balance it with the others. And so like for me, I had to learn, I just have to work to balance my throat chakra because I go between not having a voice and then saying more than needs to be said. And so balance your chakras. So if you have a habit of saying more than needs to be said, as you work on your throat chakra, remind yourself that you say what needs to be said and nothing more. Amen. So we greet this morning the angel of life. We ask the angel of life to move through us to cause everything that we touch to become enlivened, right? We will, for our midday prayers, for those of you that are do observe the three prayer a day observance, which is what Daniel did. People love to do a Daniel fast, but I find that really, I get it. It's a fast for most people, but it wasn't a fast for Daniel. Okay. That was how Daniel ate. Daniel was a Nazarite. Okay. Or Nazarene. And so that is just how they eat, guys. Okay. But that group of folks who were set apart amongst the set apart, the midday prayer will be a prayer for your mind. Okay, today is Yom Nefesh. So it's a prayer for the mind, and you're going to speak peace with your mind, peace in your mind, and then perhaps pray for the minds of people who, especially those who have influence over others and over resources, that they will move in a mind of ultimate wisdom balanced with a heart of ultimate love, right? And then tonight you're going to be greeting Malak Maaseh Kodesh, which is the angel of holy work. And remembering that your holy work is not necessarily work that is spiritual in its outward appearance. Your holy work is the thing that brings you joy, that is a blessing to the world. The thing that you would do even if no one paid you. The thing that you would do for joy in your spare time. The thing that you love that brings joy to others. That is your holy work. It is a blessing beyond blessings to be able to spend your days doing that holy work. One of the biggest pitfalls that everybody fell for was that you should put what you love aside, do what you hate for money. That's a trap of the enemy, because there are demons who feed off of human misery, off of not just human misery, but misery. And so a world of people doing what they hate or don't love in search of money and ever needing more and more money so that there's ever less time for what they do love is a smorgasbord for the demons who eat suffering, because it then causes layers of suffering throughout society that just can't even be quantified. People, however, who are tapped into their divine gifts, and everyone has one or more, some kind of gift, something that there is something that you were specifically created to do, whether it is folding clothes at a laundry, someone might say, how is that a holy thing? But if you've ever used a laundry service and you've dropped your funky bags of laundry off, and when you pick them up, they are smelling fresh and folded so tidy and beautifully. It's a serious service to humanity, that person that folds those clothes so beautifully, right? It could be anything. And I mention that because that's a little joy that I have. I love folding clothes. And so there was a time when I made my living. I worked at Tabus Hotel. If anybody, if you know, you know. In the laundry room, and I just folded sheets and towels and pillowcases and things all day, and it was a joy. Shout out to Mika, shout out to Marinette, shiny. But your holy work is that thing which that you do that brings you joy and brings joy to others. And so when you make your prayers to the angel of holy work, you're going to just ask that all find that holy work, that they indulge it fully. And if you have found your holy work, your purpose, your true purpose, which, like I said, could be something as simple as folding clothes in laundry, could be, watching babies for people, could be collecting the trash, could be clipping people's hedges, or it could be speaking on a stage to thousands of people, or it could be anything. Who knows, right? If you have found that thing, give thanks, because the person who walks in their true calling, who is enabled to pursue that thing that they love regularly, especially if they're able to make a living from it. There really is no other blessing that you could ask for. Like, that is a contented life. So yeah, that's that, boys and girls, right? So yeah, I am gonna do a little thing now. I know I can't see with the glasses, can't see without them. It's 8:30, so it's been a half an hour. Typically, we go for an hour and a half, and I do spend like the first half an hour or so doing the kind of stuff that I've been doing, what we call housekeeping, which is usually that's people get in the room and lets us just kind of nestle into readiness for study, right? So let us bring in the Spirit of Truth and Revelation, which hopefully has been on and with us from the beginning. Blessings, Corey. Yes, my glasses are like, it's funny, like I probably need trifocals, okay? These are bifocals. So they're for really close and really far, but things that are anything that's like more than a foot away and not like 40 feet away, I don't actually need the glasses for. So if it drives you crazy that I'm constantly the whole time on and off with the glasses, sorry, for your luck. But welcome to the room, Corey. Blessings to you. So I'm going to say a word or a phrase in English, and you will repeat after me, and then we will do it in Hebrew, and you will repeat after me. And this is just going to draw the Spirit of truth and blessings here to descend upon us, which I do pray that as the mouthpiece for the divine, I dwell in the Spirit of truth and revelation. However, we're going to call it into this study. And if we were in the same place at the same time doing this the way that it was originally done with this particular chant, we would chant this until we had entered into a certain type of a space from a spiritual perspective. However, we are just going to read it through twice, once in English and once in Hebrew, and then we're going to get to the Holy Megillah. Okay? In this space, now, truly, hear, receive, revelation, speak as a prophet, so be it. Po, Ata, Omna, Shama, Kabbalah, Zohar, Na'am. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. So, I am super excited to start a new book, and I've got a new book from my notes. This one got us through season 5. And it just got us through because it's like maybe 4 extra pages. that I didn't actually use. Well, yeah, 4 pages that I didn't use. So it was perfect for season 5. Season 6, new notebook. Fancy stickers and all. Because my girls are into stickers. And so I was in a mood the other day and decided to doll up my my new notebook with some stickers. So the disclaimer for the scripture that we're studying, not that it needs a disclaimer. Okay, I don't know if the glasses are better on or off, guys. But the scripture, the Holy Megillah, is sometimes called the Jesus Bible. It is reportedly the scriptures that Yeshua taught from, that he had his followers to write down, make copies of, to hide in particular, okay? Not just to teach from, but especially, specifically, to hide copies for the age that is described in it, which we are now in. Because it was known that this age we would come into desire for knowledge, and we would seek to know that which has been hidden from us. And as, oh shit. Oh Lord, Lulu. Oh, you back to sleep. I done messed up. It's on page 389. I don't know what happened. I didn't touch that.
You need page 253.
You guys, okay, I don't be trying to give the devil no glory, but that MFer is busy on today. Okay. 253. Okay. What? It's not 253. Oh, wait. Give me a second, guys. I've got to recombobulate the scriptures here. But yeah, so the Holy Megillah, it is reportedly, that is the official word on the streets about this document. It includes many, many books. Just like your Bible is many books, not one book, which really drives me crazy when people get all mad when people are like adding or subtracting from the Bible, and they take that verse from Revelation that says, like, if anybody adds or subtracts from this book, then they, if you add or subtract from this book, then a curse be upon you. And then people think that means the Bible, and it's like, it ain't talking about the Bible, you idiots. Bible, it's talking about Revelations. Revelations is a book in and of itself. This is not correct. Something is really weird going on here. All right. So, but yeah, for the record, and I'll say it again, I mentioned it a little bit ago, there was never an official canon for the Hebrew people, okay? There were as many different sects of Hebrew people as there are church denominations today, okay? That's always been the case. And so, yeah, it's okay. I got it. Thank you. Thank you, Lulu. So keep that in mind, guys, okay? Keep that in mind. And, here in this document, it does clearly state that the spiritual leaders have the authority to add books or remove books from their official canon, to add new testimonies, their own books, right? Their own books. According to the needs of the people at the time, right? If, the people don't need a particular book because it just doesn't really apply to that time, there's no need to keep that book, because the love and wisdom are timeless, right? But how we apply love and wisdom depends on the times. You feel me? So yeah, that is something that I think is, people in ignorance get really attached to versions of things that they first encountered, imagining that to be the purest, bestest version. And then they go through all these changes when they encounter other versions. Like some people like swear by the King James version of the Bible. And it's like, first of all, it's the Bible, okay? So it only exists because people gathered up, slaughtered our people, and gathered up all their holy books, and then try to discard all of the ones that did not fit a Roman colonization agenda. And then the ones that did or could be altered so that they did were created. The Bible was created from those. So how anybody who is, especially like the Hebrew Israelites, like they're loyal to the King James version of the Bible, or they're loyal to the Bible. Like, how can you be a Hebrew Israelite and you're loyal to the Bible, which only came about by the slaughter of your people? Because what? But anyway, I say all that to say we're studying Holy Megillah, which is a completely different collection of scriptures. And they are reportedly those which Yeshua, who is my friend, taught from and had his followers to commit to memory and had his followers to hide for such a time as this, specifically for us, specifically for me. And I tell people all the time, as we read them, those who are meant for them, this is going to inspire memory in you. You're going to be saying, exactly, I knew it. I knew it. Exactly. Because remember, the soul is eternal, and it is very highly likely that you've been here plenty times before among, your other travels in other realms. And this last age is the age of wrapping up karmic, cycles. And so you're probably here to finish some work or other. And so finding me or finding this scripture or finding whatever you find is to remind you of why you're here so that you can get to work, right? So we are currently reading the book of Noah. We are going to start the book of Noah right now. That is page 253. And if you would like a copy of the Holy Megillah, you can search it out in rare book places and things like that. And you're probably going to pay into the thousands of dollars for it. You'll probably engage in a bidding war with a rare book collector. Or you can go to thegreatinvestigation.com and purchase a copy for about $150. Or you can become a mailing list member of the Great Investigation and download a copy for free. If, however, none of those options work for you for some reason or another, but you do still really want to study it, you can shoot me your email in my inbox and I will share my Google file with you for your viewing and independent study. For the record, you should know that I do not pre-study the Holy Megillah. My memory of these things is simply from another lifetime. I am encountering it, reading it for the first time in this lifetime with you guys. So as we were off for that month where I was not doing the morning session, I was studying other things. I was not studying this because I like it being fresh. Revelation for our study together. Okay, so I've not read the book of Noah. We're about to encounter it now together for the first time. It is found on page 253 of the manuscript, which is 262 of the PDF if you're reading it in PDF form. And so let us embark on the book of Noah. All right. I don't know which is better. Okay, I think without the glasses is better here in this case. All right, the book of Noah, being an account of the incarnation of Isaac as Noah and the banishment of Lucifer from this world. So, okay, we're starting out with the place to eat. We're starting out. That's the title, and the title calls for a note, right? So let me get my notes. MS. It was season 6, episode 1. What's today? The 21st, I think. October 21. Okay. We are on the book of Noah. What did we say? Page 250. To what? 253. Okay, so right there in the title is something that I know for a lot of people is really controversial, which I don't understand how it's controversial. So many people believe that the soul is eternal, but then when you say the word reincarnation, everybody gets in a tizzy. Oh, we don't believe in that newfangled, new age stuff. First of all, there's nothing new age about the concept of reincarnation. All of the most ancient spiritual beliefs all around the entire planet have all known that the soul reincarnates, okay? Which is something I really love about some of the Native American or Indigenous American peoples, is the way that they approach reincarnation, because they understand that you have soul tribes, and what do you want? Take your whiskers somewhere. We have soul tribes, and so a lot of times with the what happens is your soul family, you reincarnate in the same families, you know what I'm saying? Especially where there's love there and stuff, or where there's something karmically that you haven't worked out, found peace in it, what have you. Lots of reasons why you reincarnate in the same families. But one of the things that was popular in many Native American nations is that they recognize a reincarnated family member. So they might name you little aunt, like this is aunt. They see your eyes when you're born and they're like, it's Aunt, White Feather. And so they name you little Aunt White Feather because they recognize that that's a soul come back. So here we have something totally like, what? Wait, what? Okay. This is an account of the incarnation of Isaac as Noah. Right? So like, wait, what? Yeah. Right? Clearly, this soul who is writing this is aware that this is not their first incarnation, and they are saying from the beginning, right? I am speaking from this lifetime of things I am aware of from a former lifetime. And if you are someone like me who has other lifetime memory or knowledge, you know how that can be. That can get tricky. People may not necessarily want to accept or believe that you know what you know, because like you can't prove that you read it in a book somewhere, okay? But you know what you know. Your soul has memory. Your DNA has memory. Like, you know what you know, right? So this is an account of the incarnation of Isaac as Noah and the banishment of Lucifer from the world, okay? So we're going to make that our first note, is that just that subtitle alone, because that is something to really ponder, right? So give me a moment. And if you guys are not used to the long pauses and things like that, when I take notes, you'll get used to it or you won't. It's just how we roll. Isaac is Noah. Oops. Banishment. Lucifer. Okay, so here we go. Chapter 1, the defilement of the earth by the seraphim. Okay? Behold, many generations had passed since the raising of the holy mount in the center of the Garden of Eden to become the center of El-Cush. Yea, and many generations had passed since the ascension of the great Nazarene patriarchs and matriarchs. Lo, for many generations the Nazarenes were in dispersion, being persecuted without mercy by the Canaanites. Okay? So the Canaanites, remember, Cain's bloodline and people and nations and all of them, they're the worldly ones. Right? Abdiel, who the Bible calls Abel, his little holy community are dispersed around because they've gone out into the world to bring righteous teaching to those fallen peoples, right? They don't live, they come to not live in communities, much like how we are now, right? We're dispersed. There are drops of righteous ones here and there and there and here, and we are finally coming to reconverge little by little, right? As in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the end, right? So they are dispersed, right? Being persecuted without mercy by these people who are loyal to the ways of Cain, right? Murderers and violators and whatnot, haters of love and wisdom and all things beautiful and good, right? As it is today, right? I was telling my daughter about the MOVE encounter in Philadelphia in the 80s, right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about persecuted without mercy. Like you rather drop a bomb on a city, on a row home in Philadelphia and then let them black folks live their little off-grid life inside their house and grow. Now I get it that the bullhorn might have been a little bit much, right? With the communist propaganda. But frankly, what some call communist propaganda, another might call sound wisdom and teaching. I'm just saying. Those of you that know. But I'm telling you, if you don't know, John Nash, who's the guy who the movie A Beautiful Mind is about, y'all know I mention this all the time, won the Nobel Prize in mathematics for proving that it is mathematically proved that it is better if everybody does what's best for everybody than if everybody does what's best for themselves. Because when everybody does what's best for themselves, people cancel out one another's efforts. And so you end up with deficits. You end up with people who don't get what they need. But if everybody does what's best for everybody, you end up with overflow. Everybody gets more than they need. Okay? So that's like communism in a nutshell. Is everybody, it all belongs to all of us, so let's make sure we all have some. That's a story for another day. Okay? So for many generations, the Nazarenes were in dispersion, being persecuted without mercy by the Canaanites. For though Cain had long since perished in battle, his armies still ravaged the world and still today ravage the world. Yea, not only the Canaanites, but many nations of degenerated mankind waged war on the Nazarenes until the holy ones were nearly extinct. Still happening today. There is nothing in the world like the passion of these worldly armies to annihilate any people that they find living simple, natural lives of contentment and love and abundance. In fact, they've created an entire narrative that says that people have to be saved from that, right? I lived for 5 years in Belize, and this is something that when I was in Belize used to frustrate me beyond, like I just couldn't even deal with the level of frustration. Because you've got people living, they're basically living off land more or less, right? They eat what grows, they eat what's in season, they, maybe buy a little flour here, a little sugar or something like that. But basically, like there are lots of folks who could live off the land there. But then, you know, you get the colonizers coming, they're like, well, you know, you need to be developed. You're poor. You're impoverished. This is happening all over the world, right? You got people that like, we're poor. We didn't know we were poor. We're just chilling. We're living our simple life. We eat what grows here. And, you know, sometimes it's lean, sometimes it's not, but like, we're good. We build, we construct our homes out of what materials are around us. And we live a free life. And then because that doesn't have an economy attached to it, then it's considered like undeveloped. And so you have like armies of invaders who will come to fix that. And what's the fixing? Well, the fixing is turning the place into a slave colony where people now, instead of doing whatever it is that they love all day, every day, now people have to go and feel like losers and beg for someone else to pay them to do some shit that they hate for money. And sometimes not even for money, sometimes just because they said so, or else you'll lose a limb, shit like that. Okay. But it's like they are still, these armies are still going around the world and persecuting people who live simple, off-grid lives of abundant contentment, right? It is like the worst thing that you could possibly do from the standpoint of the so-called progressed nations, right? I mean, so much so that like there are places in the United States where it's legally, you can like be fined and arrested for catching and using rainwater, which the rainwater is so damn toxic. Who blames them? But if you compare the toxic rainwater to the toxic shit that comes out of our faucet here in Albany, Georgia, you know, you probably do better with the acid rain, right? But the whole point is that these Luciferians, these people who serve Lucifer, who want to turn this contested realm into hell, it cannot become hell as long as there is one righteous soul here. It is still contested. And so because the Luciferians want it to be hell, they have to extinguish all the holy ones, all holy ideas, all holy practices, all holy bloodlines. They have to extinguish it so that it can be hell, right? That's like their point, guys. As long as there's one of us who believes in truth, who believes in justice, who believes in love, who believes in wisdom, whose soul is not for sale, as long as there's one of us here, they cannot claim this realm. And so that's what it's really all about, okay? That's what it's really all about. Because this realm was created to function as a heaven. But only if the group consciousness agreed that it would be heaven. Like everybody here has to want it to be heaven in order for it to be heaven. Just like everybody here has to want it to be hell in order for it to be hell. And because the consciousness is split, right? Some people want it to be heaven and some people want it to be hell. And because of that, it's a contested realm, which means you might experience heaven on earth today and hell on earth tomorrow. Depending on where you go at any given time of the day, you could be like, oh, earth is such a paradise, or oh my God, earth is such a hell. Happening right now, simultaneously, all over the world. That's because it's a contested realm, right? And so this is what they're speaking of, right? So not only the Canaanites, but many nations of degenerated mankind waged war on the Nazarenes until the holy ones were nearly extinct. Then, out of sight due to their small numbers, the remaining Nazarenes were mostly forgotten, while the large nations waged war upon one another. Yea, much time passed. Let's eat there for a minute. The Nazarenes don't have to wage war to do away with the unrighteous nations. They will take one another and themselves out, guys. Okay? you know what they say, give somebody enough rope to hang themselves. All right. Our job is to, but when I say our job, I don't necessarily mean people who identify as Nazarenes. I mean people who live by love and wisdom and truth and justice and abundance, right? Those of us who truly want for our neighbor what we want for ourselves, who would not, eat a $300 steak dinner in front of somebody who hadn't eaten for 3 weeks. Okay. Like someone who would sooner make 400 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and everybody eat than to sit and eat steak with 400 people starving around them. Okay. So those of us who live like that, who truly live and believe that way, right? It's best for all of us if we do what's best for all of us. We do not have to engage in warfare with these degenerate nations. We don't have to do that. I'm not saying that we should not defend ourselves when we are under attack. But I'm just, according to scripture, though, even in this last day and age, the ones who will defend us are actually kind of hybrids. They're the people that they haven't fully moved into the ascended mind of the oneness of all, right? They're kind of like both, a little bit of both, but they see the value of it, but they haven't moved into it themselves. When those degenerate nations come up against us, they will stand between us and those degenerate nations so that we don't have to engage in outright battle with them, all right? But really, the best strategy is to stay out of the way and let them destroy one another. Okay. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Okay. So basically, because the numbers had become so small, the nations, the degenerate nations, they weren't paying the Nazarenes any mind. They felt like they wiped out enough of them that it didn't really matter. Kind of like, the Native and Indigenous Americans. Like, nobody worries about them. They basically thought they killed everybody off. So, we're fine. Let's just build our nation now. There's no need to keep killing them. We've killed enough of them that they don't matter, right? Well, that's not a new story. Okay. Lo, the wars became increasingly cruel and wicked as Lucifer with his seraphim generals taught the people the black arts of warfare. All of that, all of the means of warfare, this is all demonic shit, okay? Now, let's talk about Lucifer. There's not an equal opposite power. It's not like God and Lucifer, okay? The fact is, the divine is all that is everything that ever will be. And so, truth be told, Lucifer is an aspect of the divine, okay? Free will is always divine, and divine will is always free. And so, in order for one to choose fellowship with the divine, in order for one to choose love and wisdom, they must have an option. And in order to have an option, then you've got to have a full spectrum. What is love and wisdom? And then what's the opposite of love and wisdom? And so it is an extension of love that creates hatred so that you can choose. You can make an authentic choice what you love, what you desire. And so hatred is actually a form of love because it allows for one to freely choose an authentic expression and experience. Okay? However, time and space and circumstance determine whether this is an enemy or a friend. Okay? So just because we know, you may have a brother or a sister who is straight wicked. I know I do. I've got a bunch of them. Straight fucking demons. Okay? Now, knowing that this person is on demon time, I know that this is my enemy. Right? I know that they are of the divine. Nothing is not of the divine. Nothing exists outside of the divine, separate from, opposing to, equal to, nothing. Nothing. The divine is all in all in all. All that ever was, ever will be, is. Right? But understanding that context is everything, and what the whole point of incarnating, the whole point of having experience as an incarnated being is. Right? And so you can kind of understand it if you think of like a sports team, right? You and your cousin may go to different schools and you're both on football teams. And so football wise, you two are enemies. You want to crush each other on the football field. But then off the field, you know, your best buds. You're at grandma's house, you know, eating pie together, right? So that grandma's house eating pie together is when we are not in the flesh, when we are in the spirit and, you know, being, dealing with whatever is going on in the spirit realm, right? Is when there's that kind of neutrality of existence, kind of, sort of, right? But here in this realm, we're on teams around here, okay? We're on teams. And I kind of oversimplified that because, truthfully speaking, what you do here kind of impacts your spirituality, and your spirituality impacts what you do here. So it's not quite as simple as the analogy I just gave, but I'm hoping that that helps you to understand that this is an experience. This is a place for having a certain experience. And within the context of this experience, we have Luciferians. We have those who are committed to the destruction of this realm. And then we have righteous ones who are committed to the life of the realm. And it is a battle for the control of the realm. You dig it? And so warfare and things like that, lots of things are things that are specifically in this realm because of the Luciferians, those who thrive off of destruction. Especially, like, the more holy and beautiful and good something is, the more excited they become at destroying it. Okay? So all of these wars and all of this crazy stuff, horrible ways of doing things, like the water here, we drink the water here, and like, it's so fucking toxic, you guys. It's so toxic. This is like Flint, Michigan quality water here in Albany. It don't look as bad, but I guarantee you it's as bad, you know. Like, you're paying to be poisoned, right? It's like the wicked weather machines that you know, I shall never forget that hurricane that came through a few years ago and like circled back around and hit Haiti twice. Like, fucking natural hurricanes don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nuclear bombs, and it's smallpox blankets, and it's on and on, right? It's poisonous food, you know. It's the fact that a bag of Doritos, which is poisonous to no end and even has human content in it, is a cheaper snack than a natural apple. It's the fact that you can't find a natural apple. You know, it's like you go in the store and the fruits and vegetables that are mass produced are so genetically altered that they only retain a fraction of their nutritional quality. You know, it's on and on and on, these things that the demons have taught, right? Sex change operations and all kinds of weird fuckery. This is all demon shit, y'all. Okay? This does not, and when you think of heaven, please know that shit don't exist in heavens. And heavens are not all spiritual places. There are natural, like heaven, like when we think of heaven, please know that it's a place, like this is a place. Although it's a state of mind, like this is a state of mind. Because the all is pure consciousness anyway. So everything that is real isn't real because it's all just consciousness and manifests consciousness in different ways. But let's not go too far out there. Okay? So the wars became increasingly cruel and wicked as Lucifer with his seraphim generals taught the people the black arts of warfare. Yea, they taught the art of making deadlier weapons and provided the means to do so. And they made giant and ferocious soldiers by mating seraphim with the daughters of man. Okay? This is not an uncommon thing to know. We know that the giants were genetically modified, right? They are mixing of the genetics of these seraphim and humans. Okay, there have been several ages of genetic modification. Nobody likes to talk about it, but it is what it is. Okay. What we call white people is actually the product of the last age of genetic modification, right? We were playing gene games to get white people. That's how we end up with these white races. That's a talk for another day, but it is what it is. It's a science. It's science. It's those who know. Okay, those who don't know find that highly controversial and get all pissed off. But I don't give a shit if you're pissed off. The truth is the truth. Okay. So the age prior, the first genetic modification age, were the creation of these giants solely for the destruction of godly ones. Okay. And these soldiers were birthed in glass tubes like Cain, for no human womb could birth such big babies. Now, we have talked about that before here, right? That Cain is the product of rape. Lucifer convinced Adam to rape Eve to prove his dominance. So Cain was the child of rape. But because Eve was going back to the garden to eat of the tree of life, it would have polluted the evil seed. And by polluted, I mean it would have fed in goodness. And so Lucifer extracted the child from her and test tube baby grew it in a laboratory. Okay. This is also the way that the giants were created. All right. This is not new science. I know it seems new to a lot of people. Ooh, that's new and interesting. But yes, so is lasers. They think lasers are new, and they think a lot of stuff is new, but then they can't explain to you how you end up with like the basalt Olmec heads or the pyramids or, you know, Göbekli Tepe or on and on and on and on, right? Only the ignorant think that things are new. Nothing's new. It's not new, okay? So growing things in petri dishes and artificial wombs and all that shit has been happening here since the beginning of time. All right? And I should be taking notes here. I should be taking notes. Let's see. All right, I'm going to take a couple notes. I'm going to take the note that, not that I didn't know this, but it's good for a review, right? So the Luciferians taught warfare. And that was where? Verse 8. And then we also said verse 10 tells us that giants created as soldiers through gene splicing with human. We know that they were okay, sorry guys, just give me a second. Let me catch my notes up. Okay. So these were grown in like artificial wombs because the women could not all right. Even Lucifer, though no longer of natural flesh, mated with a human woman. Okay? That's important. Lucifer himself, okay, mated with a human woman. Even though he was not still in the flesh. Okay? For in the time when he was still of flesh, which was long before he came to our world, he preserved his seed for this purpose, that he might seed many worlds. Okay? So, when Lucifer, let's get our notes together. Lucifer's time in the flesh was before he came to earth. He preserved okay? So that whole, I know it's hard because people are going to say, well, it helps people that need families and have families. But that whole thing about sperm banks and in vitro and artificial insemination and all that, that is all demonic shit. That's all demonic science. And I'm just going to remind you, for those of you who've not been with us from the beginning, one of the things that we learned early on in reading this was that the symbol for like the American Medical Society, the serpents going up that thing with the little staff with the wings, that's literally the insignia for Satan. That's Satan's insignia. The Nazarenes in the time of Adam were warned to stay away from anyone who carried that insignia. They were warned to stay the fuck away from them because that was Satan's trademark. And when you think of what this medical society does, it's all fucking demonic. It's why they've completely outlawed and tried to wipe out all herbal medicines. It's why they have Roundup, to try to get rid of anything that grows that can cure and heal you so that they can feed you their drugs that just fucking destroy you in so many weird, twisted fucking ways that this shit ravages the body and turns people into fucking raging zombies. It's one form of zombieism or another that all of these drugs, it's just bizarre. Excuse me. And remember that for those of you that have been with me for a while, remember that the goal of the Luciferians from the go was to add metal to the bodies of humans, to add metals. And what are in all the vaccinations? And what's the first thing that they do if you hurt yourself and you need to get a new, like, you break your, shatter some bone or some shit, they replace it with steel, right? That's Luciferian shit. I know that's hard to hear because it's like, oh, but it saves lives. But that's what we were warned. We were warned that it would come as if it was some kind of blessing. We would beg them to do these things to us because of the way they would present it, like it's life-saving and it improves quality of life and it's this and it's that. And we'd be like, oh, yay, please do it. And we would go to great lengths. What the hell is that cat doing? We would go to great lengths to get them to do this shit to us. But it's all demonic. It's all Luciferian. Holy natural man is fully spiritual. Perfect. Made perfectly. The idea that nobody's perfect is bullshit. We're all perfect. We're already perfect. We don't need fixing. And anything that needs to be fixed, the earth is made to fix. Right? But Lucifer saved his sperm from the time he was in flesh, saved his sperm in a sperm bank somewhere so that as new worlds were born, he could pass that on and inseminate whatever being right? So I'm going to read that line again. For in the time when he was still of the flesh, which was long before he came to this world, he preserved his seed for this purpose, that he might seed many worlds. And his seraphim, some of mixed flesh and metal, I just said that, some entirely artificial, did likewise at his command. Okay? So, the Luciferians, seraphim, have mixed flesh with metal, or flesh, or all metal. Okay? So all those science fiction movies that you've seen where the cyborgs take shit over, yeah, we like to think of them as futuristic, which they are, but they're also speaking of shit that's already done happened. This age that we're currently in is only about 7,000 years old, but this planet is millions of years old. And so do you know how many times we've been through this cycle? And then that's just this one world. We're like a little speck of, we're like a little crumb in this universe. And that's just this universe. And then get into the omniverse and it's ever expanding. So this shit ain't new. It's not, this shit been happening. Gonna keep happening. Right? All right. So these guys, the seraphim, who are, some have flesh, some are mixed flesh with metal, and some are entirely artificial, also preserve their seed to infiltrate bloodlines. Okay? They did this at the command of their master. Okay? Now, it's 9:23. Yeah, we got plenty of time. Lucifer mated with Lilith. Wait, maybe we don't. When did we start? 8 or 8:30? Hey, Russ, what's up? Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you, brother. I love you. Thank you for joining. All right, verse 15. Lucifer mated with Lilith, a daughter of Cain, who enjoyed drinking human blood. All right, let's make a note there. The verse 15 tells us Lucifer mated with Lilith, she's a daughter of Cain, and she enjoyed drinking human blood. Okay? She was loathsome and wicked. And her son Lucifer, her son by Lucifer was named Sargon. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the name of the bad guy in Lord of the Rings, right? Isn't that the evil wizard, Sargon? Okay? So Lilith and Lucifer's son is Sargon. All right? Sargon was evil incarnate. This is an antichrist. Okay? We have to understand that Christ and antichrists could be born at any time in space, because everyone is born on a spectrum, the spectrum of good and evil. We've all got a little good and, and a little evil, or a lot of good and a little evil, or a lot of evil and a little good. Everybody's on the spectrum, right? And there are extremes on both ends of the spectrum. And it's rare but happens that you have a pure soul that enters a Christ. And it's rare but happens that you have a purely demonic soul that enters an antichrist. But people exist, souls exist on that full spectrum. So some souls are like so fucking wicked that you can't find the good in them. But there might be a drop. Might be a drop in there somewhere. And some are so good that you can't find the wickedness in them, but there might be a drop. And then some of us are in the middle, just as good as we are bad. Excuse me, and everything in between. So this Sargon is an antichrist who was born at the same time probably as the brother we just read the odes of Shlomo. Right? So let's go on. And with his mate Lilith, Lucifer claimed, listen. Lucifer claimed the title Elohim. Okay? This is why you got to be careful. Because the title Elohim is already a title for these angelic hosts. But now in this time, Lucifer claims that title. I'm the Elohim. Right? So it's kind of like how today you have people that, we're the Jews. Like, wait, what? How come all the history books say that the Jews was swarthy and black and was living in Africa and looked like they was black and stuff, and the woolly hair, and it was black and swarthy? How come all throughout history? So now when people hear, they read about the Hebrews, they think about these people who claimed the title. So now it's hard to know which one we're talking about. In another 100 years, when you hear things about Jews or Hebrews, nobody will know which one you're talking about. Whether you're talking about the real one or the fake one. Because they claimed that title. Well, that's the same shit Lucifer did. He claimed that title. And so you got to be careful when you're reading stuff. And it says Elohim this and Elohim that. Yahweh this and Yahweh that. You got to be careful. You must use discernment. You must use spiritual discernment. Your heart that loves love and wisdom, you must apply that to whatever the fuck you're reading. Because if it doesn't add up to love and wisdom, it's probably the false Lucifer, the false Elohim, who claims to be Elohim in order to get you to do some wicked, evil, hateful shit. Like genocide. Okay? So verse 18 tells us that Lucifer and Lilith claimed the title Elohim. Okay? Verse 19. So now he was the false claimant of two holy names. What I just said. I promise I haven't pre-read this. Two holy names, okay? What are they? Yahweh and Elohim. So everything that you read where someone was talking to Yahweh, or everything that you read where someone was doing the bidding of Elohim, just because someone says, it's like, how many John Browns are in the world? My dad's name was Bob Jones. How many Bob Joneses are in the world? So you read something and it says Bob Jones, blah, 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 blah. You can't just assume that it was my dad just because they walking around with the same name. Lucifer is the false claimant of two holy names. Okay? He claimed to be Yahweh and Elohim. But we can know if it's real, the real Yahweh, the real Elohim, or not. How do we know? Well, test the spirit by the spirit. This is what happened to Abraham with that testing Isaac. We know that Yah doesn't test us with evil. Now, let's see if you want to do some evil shit to prove our love. Make us do evil shit to prove our love. That's not what the Most High does. That's what the false ones do to try to get us to do evil in the name of the Most High. And if we're stupid, the Most High will protect us Because we think we're proving our love to him, so we're going to kill our own fucking son. And so the Most High will send a ram in, like, please don't kill the boy. Don't kill. I know you've proven that you love me, and I love the fact that you love me that much. But when the hell would make you think I would want you to kill your son? I done told you I don't do sacrifice and bloodletting. I done told you don't kill. But the fact that you was going to kill that boy for me touches my heart. You the real one. But you pretty fucking stupid to fall for that, though. But we fall for it all the time. We always fall for these things. Right? But we have to have a heightened sense of discernment in this age. Because information, it's the age of information. Information is not enough. We must have insight. Right? And it's a part of the killing of the divine feminine, which is in this age, it's the divine feminine has been all but obliterated from the realm. And the only feminines that are accepted are defiled feminines, which are false feminines or Lilith, these ones that eat babies and shit. But like the divine feminine is like, the world hates the divine feminine, just like the world hates the divine masculine. But the divine feminine, the mind of the divine feminine is intuition. And intuition would tell you, I know that this person claims to come in the name of Yahweh, and they've done some pretty fucking spectacular ass miracles and magic tricks. However, my intuition tells me something ain't right. Something ain't right. Why would the Most High want me to kill the promise? Okay? Let's read on. Yea, he was a false god, and his queen was no goddess. And he loved her not, but respected her evil, and used her and other women to create bloodlines by which he would rule this world. Yea, he mated with other women of many races, that his seed would encompass the planet. All right? He loved her not, but he respected her evil. Okay? Lucifer's mate was not a goddess. And he did not love her. He doesn't know how to love. Okay? Now, this is something that I find interesting. Because there is this, I hate to go all weird and racial, but I've talked about this a lot, this whole thing of why black men don't want black women. And they go to a certain type of white woman, okay? I'm not going to say all white women are this type, but there's a certain type of white woman, she's the Jezebel. And a lot of people think that Jezebel, they associate Jezebel with whoredom, but there's a Jezebel, Naaman's wife, Jezebel, is like your Hillary Clinton or your, the Kardashian girls and things. Like these women who attach themselves to men, and by their wiles, they drive the men crazy in trying to please them. And they empower them to do all levels of fuckery for things like power, prestige, money. And they use this weird baby, sweetie, honey, boo, but don't you want to make me happy? And oh, you're such a big, strong man. And then when he's doing what she wants, and then when he doesn't do what she wants, they are fucking venomous. And you're not a man. You call yourself a man. They do this weird shit, right? And like, it's this thing where they woo them into wickedness and they empower them, right? And like, so that, you know, it's like they would convince them that they need a Mercedes, you know. She needs a Mercedes so bad that the man should not buy his kids to another woman's school clothes or buy them cheap ass school clothes because she needs a Mercedes, right? And so she's going to come up with a way for him to, like, you know, she's going to empower him in that. She's going to find a way to get his credit top of the fucking line, but nobody's going to know he's got all this money because it's going to be like tricky. She's going to be able to trick the system so that he's only paying like, you know, $100 a fucking month in child support, but this bitch is riding around in a fucking Mercedes on his dime. And she's going to have all the skills to make that happen, type of shit. Right? And that's a certain type of a white woman that is very often the one who the brothers will leave the sisters for. Hey, salute and shalom, Sister Nicola. Very often, these are the ones that the brothers, when the brothers like, we don't fool with black women, it's because they have attached themselves to these Liliths. Right? Because when a brother attaches to a white woman that's not that Lilith, they're not on that time where now white women have to be better than black women. In fact, that's how you know if it's a solid white woman or not. Because a solid white sister is not going to be with no man who hates black women, because then you hate your own mother and your own daughters. Well, nah, fuck that. You gotta kick rocks with that shit. You can't come over here. Right? So that's one telltale way to know if this brother is with this Lilith or this Jezebel. Right? But that's a side note. Right? But it says that Lucifer's mate was not a goddess. And he didn't love her, but he respected her evil. And he mated with other women of other races. Remember, there were 72 original races. Right? Original bloodlines, 72 original bloodlines. He mated with other women of many races that his seed would encompass the planet. But Lilith was his first and favorite wife, and he let her kill the others after they bore him children. Listen, Linda. Okay? So that's our note. Lucifer mated with other wives. What was his favorite? Lucifer let Lilith. And I think that's a good place to stop. That's a good place to stop. That's 254, page 254. We'll be picking up on note 24. Oops. That's a good place to stop, because that's heavy, right? That's heavy. You know, there's one kind of woman who, and I've said this, you know, you can tell if a woman loves a man by how she treats his children, no matter who made those children and under what circumstance. A woman who loves a man will love his children. And a woman who loves a man will want to decrease the stress in his life. And so if that means making sure that his baby mama is good, or the other woman or the other wife or the whatever. See, a woman that loves a man will always make sure that the other women in that man's life are good. Hey, Aunt Loti, I'm actually getting ready to close it out, sweet pea. Good to see you, though. A woman who loves a man is never in competition with the other women in that man's life, whether it's his mom, his aunties, his cousins, his homegirls at work, his lover, his daughters. See, a woman that loves a man is not in competition with those other women. She recognizes how those women enhance the life of that man. And so she's grateful for those other women and whatever role they play in that man's life. But a woman who, hey, brother, I'm getting ready to get off, brother. I'm getting ready to get off. It's good to see you, though, Brother Mike. Blessings. Shalom, shalom to you. That's how you can tell if a woman loves the man she's with. How does she feel about and treat the other women in his life and his children? And I'm telling you, please trust me that it does not matter who those women are or what the circumstances around those children's birth was. It does not matter. To a woman that truly loves a man, that don't fucking matter. Ain't no baby that a man can create under any circumstances where a woman that loves that man is not going to love that child. I'm sorry. I'm saying it here, and you feel how you feel about it. And there's no woman that truly loves a man who is going to be in competition or want to undermine other women in that man's life who enhance that man's life, who are doing good to him. Now, if it's women that are causing him stress and, you know, leading him astray, that's a whole different thing. That's protection, right? Like, nah, I know it's your mama, but your mama got you out here selling crack and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, your mama got you doing stupid shit. Nah, fuck that. Stay away from her. Or your cousin or your sister or your baby mama or your lover or your wife. Okay. But when it's women around a man and those women enhance that man and help him be a better him and help him live a full, joyous life, no woman in his life who truly loves him would be at enmity with those other women. I'm telling you, I don't care if it's his mom, I don't care if it's his cousin, I don't care if it's his sister, his daughter, his lover, it does not matter. She's going to appreciate those women and she's going to want what's best for those women, because what's best for those women is what's best for the man. And what's best for the man is what's best for herself. So this Lilith spirit that kills and drinks the blood of these women as soon as they birth babies to Lucifer, that ought to tell you something. If you're with one of these women and all they do is hate your baby fucking mama, all they do is hate her. Hate her, hate her, hate her, hate her. Why she got her nails done? She calling you for school shoes, but she got her nails done. She couldn't spend their money on that. How much that weave cost? She could have spent some of that money on that. That's a $500 weave. She could have bought shoes with that money. Like, if you got that kind, this bitch don't love you. She don't love you. Now, if you're being taken advantage of, that's one thing. But see, what Jezebel does is make you think that everybody in your life is taking advantage of you because she only wants you to have loyalty to her. That's what Jezebel wants to own you in a way that that anybody else in your life is the enemy. Hey, bless up, bless up. Peace Peace to you. I'm actually cutting out in a moment. I'm closing out. But man, this was a juicy one today. We're back and we are on fire. If you guys are going to watch this on the rebound, the first half an hour is just me trying to figure out why my internet wasn't acting right and all kind of fuckery. But, you know, it is what it is. Ain't shit changed around here. But yeah, this is a good one. So go ahead and you know, I'm going to close out in a couple of minutes here, but do watch it on the rebound because it's a juicy one. We're in the book of Noah, y'all. You came in at the perfect time. Well, you know, listen, it is what it is. Life is like that, right? Life is like that. Yeah, exactly. You came in to hear what you needed to hear. I'm telling you, listen, mark my words. Mark my words. No woman who loves a man. And you know, and the same is true for men and women. And I know that's controversial because I know in these like super holy communities, they have this weird fucking narrative that a married woman doesn't have need for any other males in her life. Like, what the fuck? That is the abuser's mantra, okay? The idea that a woman should only ever have to speak to her husband and no other men, that is what men who want to drastically mistreat and fucking abuse the hell out of, whether it be emotional, financial, physical, spiritual, that is what abusers think, okay? Men who truly love women understand that the more men she has in her life who truly do love her, the more protected she is. And so it is important when you have a man that, you know, there was this African brother that was saying that, or this sister was talking about she had married this African brother and it blew her mind. Because yeah, them double standards is on some fuck time, brother. Ain't nobody got time for that bullshit. Listen, this sister had married this African brother and she said it blew her mind because his friends were all saying that they gained a wife. And she was like weirded out by it. Like they were all like, no, you're our wife. And they would do shit for her, like take care of her. It like, as if she was their wife too. Like, you know, call her, make sure she had food and shit like this. And it was like, she felt weird. Like, oh, you know, is it? And they had to explain to her, like the women of the community had to explain to her, your husband, these are his brothers, right? Some biological, some, you know, from another mother. But these are his brothers, his comrades. And so their job is to make sure that you're good. Just like it's his job. Like it's all of their job. Now, when a man brings a wife into the community, it is the responsibility of all the men attached to that man to make sure that that woman is good. You are never going to be without, because if your actual husband ain't got it, he's gonna activate one of his brothers to get it. Even so much so that it's unspoken, like he shouldn't have to ask because they are brothers. So they all know what's going on in one another's lives, right? So if they notice that you have a need that their brother hasn't been able to fill, they step in and fill it. He don't have time to change the oil in your car. That brother's going to come by and he's going to, I need your keys real quick. He's going to take your car and go change your oil. See, that's a different kind of a mindset. This is an elevated mindset. If you can't maintain your own, you don't need one. Yeah, that's an Americanized mindset, brother. Like, that's tricky. That's tricky because no one can build a worthy life by themselves. It takes community, and the first community is your spouse. So to think that you have to build stability in order to take on a spouse is actually backwards. You take on a spouse so that the two of you can build stability. I'm just saying. Pardon me, but that's anti-American, right? That's anti-capitalist, the stuff I'm talking about. where we're taught in this culture, you know, this modern American culture, that we're supposed to, like, at 18 years old, you're supposed to have some life plan together and be able to move out of your parents' house and, like, sink or swim type shit. It's fucking absurd. An elevated mind understands that generations should be under one roof, at least in one compound together, so that you can build together. Like, move out of your parents' house, okay, but then move them into your house. Who gonna watch the kids when you go to work? It should be your parents. But your parents can't, because they're somewhere trying to maintain their own household. They're working till they're old and fucking fall. They kick them straight from the jobs into the grave. Like, wait, what? Because they're trying to maintain their own, because everybody wants their own this and their own that. It's backwards. It's demon culture. We're created to be in community. This is demonstrated in the manifestation of the divine. The purest manifestation of the divine is masculine and feminine, duality, community. And then it's developed manifestation is masculine, feminine, and then it's the product, which is the child, man, woman, child. That's the Holy Trinity. Right? But it's 9:54. I don't know what time I got on, whether it was 8:30. I don't even care. I'm going to get off of here though, because I've got to turn a corner here to school mode for the little one and whatnot. And I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back. I've missed you guys. I have been working on a very, very cool project that I'm not quite ready to reveal. I'm still working on it, but I've gotten it to a place where I can afford to have a little bit of other focus here back on with you guys. So look for me tomorrow morning, guys. Let's call it, I don't know, 8 o'clock, right? Ish. Anywhere between 8 and 8:30, perhaps. And we'll go till anywhere between 9:30 and 10, something like that. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. You are the MVP. Y'all know what I say. Don't you let nobody tell you that you are not perfect. If in fact you were created by a perfect God in its own perfect image, it is literally impossible for you to be anything other than perfect. This idea that nobody's perfect is designed to make you think that you should be something other than what you are in order to be pleasing to the God who created you. But I'm going to tell you, you were created exactly like you needed to be in order to come and do whatever it is you came here to do. Authenticity is righteousness. Yeshua said, know ye not that you are gods. Yeshua also said that you are a book of life, and only when you read and understand yourself will you know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Indeed, that is what he said. So, also, you are a tree of life, and I speak a blessing over you that you will bear fruit delicious and nutritious for all who come into the shade of your countenance. I definitely miss you. Glad you're back. I'll be here. Oh, brother, thank you. Yeah, I've missed it, right? It's been a whole month, a long time. That's a long break, right? But we're back, and I ain't went nowhere, and all is well. And I hope you guys weren't worried about me. You know, I even took a break from Facebook. I like deleted the app from my phone for that time, because it's so easy to just log on and end up scrolling, you know, especially like when you're me and you're stuck up, and I've like deleted like people out of my life that add no value to my life. And so my Facebook feed is like so fucking popping. It's like, it's just delicious. All day, I'm just, you know, scrolling and sharing. And I am a propagandist, so that is my job. But I have other jobs that I had to move into doing some other work that is super exciting. But I'm definitely glad to be back. Super glad to be back. But yeah, guys, I'm Jedi, EmpressJedi, the Rabble Rouser, High Priestess of Ma'at. You've been watching the Morning Session Live. The Morning Session is a production of Black Enlightainment. Here at Black Enlightainment, we are broadcasting consciousness. I love you. Go forth. May the Most High be glorified, magnified, and praised in all you think, do, and say today and evermore. See you tomorrow, Yah willing. Shalom.